The stage is set for an extraordinary event that will reshape the financial landscape for generations to come. It's known as the greatest wealth transfer in history. I've been watching a lot of the videos that are out there, reading a lot of the blogs. And one thing I did notice is while a lot of people talk about this, none of them are hitting it from a biblical perspective. And just like this happened when we saw the people of God leave Egypt, they were extremely financially blessed with gold and jewelry and pretty much anything that they can carry. The Egyptians gave that to them. So let's talk about the implications and what it means for us. The baby boomer generation, those born between 1946 and 1964, are poised to pass an unprecedented amount of wealth, ushering an era unlike any we've ever seen before. To understand this a little bit better, here are a couple of fast facts just to get you caught up if you don't know what I'm talking about. So baby boomers are the generation between 1944 and 1964, and they're expected to transfer well over 30 trillion in wealth to younger generations. Obviously, this is over the course of many years, but this wealth transfer is known as the Great Wealth Transfer. Number two, baby boomers control roughly 70% of all disposable income in the US right now. Number three, millennials who are part of this younger generation are actually set to inherit the wealth and are less likely to invest than previous generations. So they're going to have a lot more money and not actually know what to do with it. So number four, approximately 19% of baby boomers plan to leave no inheritance for their kids at all. These statistics and data provide a clear picture of what the scale and significance of this wealth transfer from the baby boomers to the up and coming generation is actually going to be, as well as the challenges and opportunities that it's presenting. But this story goes beyond dollars and cents. It holds profound implications for individuals, for families, and for society as a large. So this wealth transfer to the millennials, Generation X, Generation Z, it is essentially facilitated because the baby boomers accumulated assets from all of their money, all of their real estate, stock market investment, and something that we should be talking about. So this actually already started right around 2015 as the baby boomer generation and individuals who are currently between 59 and 77 years old begin retiring and passing away. And this essentially, they're leaving their assets behind or donating it. And if they're not, then it's going to the government. What does this actually mean for ordinary people and our day-to-day life, right? So for an ordinary person, this means actually inheriting something from whether your grandparents or someone in your family, like, a home, investments, stocks, bonds, whatever it happens to be. But this is actually going to have a significant impact in the generations that are inheriting this and their financial future and lifestyle, right? The implications for society as a whole is multifaceted. And let's talk about this for a second. The wild thing to consider is that most of this is actually going to go to families who are already well off, right? So you're going to get people who already are high net worth individuals, and they're going to get most of that inheritance, and some will go to less affluent families. The financial industry is also going to need to adapt to the changing needs and preferences of this younger generation as they manage, this up and coming wealth. And this, we're talking about stuff like investing in private equity, crypto. With this transfer, there's a profound debate. Where does the U.S. tax code lie in all of this, right? Like, what are we giving to Caesar? Should it continue to favor the affluent, or should we kind of lower taxes on this distribution so that people can grow wealthy in their own means? The fiscal framework plays a pivotal role in this, right? Shaping how wealth is distributed. On one side, we have people arguing for wealth redistribution and advocating for increased taxes on the affluent to fund broader societal initiatives. And on the other side, people arguing to maintain the tax break for the wealthy, which actually helps with economic growth and innovation as, they hire people and continue sharing the wealth, right? The Great Wealth Transfer is far-reaching and it creates opportunities, but specific outcomes will depend on various factors, including the condition of the stock market and inflation, which we're dealing with now, taxes and estate laws that are in place. These debates go way beyond economics and really talk about the fundamental essence of social equity and the type of society we envision for the future. Even more, us as believers. Consider the opportunities that arise from this, right? So smart investors and entrepreneurs, good steward, forward thinkers can really craft their destiny because the businesses and real estate and stocks being passed on will, in new hands, ignite growth in a lot of these different sectors. Not only does this present some opportunities, but it also has some obstacles. History has demonstrated that unwise financial management can erode family fortunes by the second or third generation. One of those things, a study I read a while back, is that if you distribute the wealth of everyone on earth right now, so you take, all the multi-billionaires and you take all the people that are living paycheck to paycheck or even less affluent than that, and you kind of distribute it all evening, within a couple of years, everybody will be back to where they are because they have learned how to creatively make money or manage money. So therefore, seeking prudent financial decision and practical investment advice is crucial. Millennials, part of the younger generation set to inherit this wealth, face a lot of challenges when it comes to investing, specifically in the stock market. This generation's reluctance to invest has compounded by significant concern. Their level of financial literacy is actually alarming. There was a study done in 2018, and it showed that only about 11% of millennials demonstrate a high level of financial literacy. Ultimately, look, if you are a millennial, the choice is in your hands. You're going to participate in this boom when the economy is shifting. But again, only about 11% of them have a high level of financial literacy. So it is important, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, one of the things, obviously do that. But there are a lot of books and resources out there that can help you so you're not in that 89%. Proverbs 13:22, the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. This biblical perspective allows us to look beyond the surface. The transfer isn't a mere financial transaction, but it's carrying divine purpose, a purpose that is transcending wealth alone. Think about that for a second, right? As we delve into this divine perspective, we're reminded that this monumental wealth transfer, it's not just a transaction between two parties. It actually carries a higher purpose, a purpose transcending the accumulation of wealth or the spending or lifestyle. And let's actually explore this. The way I see it is there's a supernatural transfer. And just like the Israelites left Egypt with the abundant resources, Christians and nonprofit organizations are going to receive a lot of gifts, either from individuals or from foundations. There's a lady, Joan Kroc, and she actually donated $1.5 billion to the Salvation Army, which is probably the biggest gift they've ever gotten. And R.G. Thurneau, if I'm saying his name correctly, pioneering figure in the development of this earth moving and construction of machinery. We're also seeing a lot of people getting into the habit of reverse tithing, which is instead of you giving 10% and living off of 90, you actually give 90 and live off of 10. That is actually, we're seeing that become more and more common. 2, I'm also seeing the power to make wealth. I think God is going to inspire believers worldwide with innovative ideas that generate wealth. Deuteronomy 8:18 underscores that God provides the ability to create wealth. And like Lewis Tappan in the 19th century, whose passion for abolitionism and church growth actually led him to become one of the key financial backers of the evangelist Charles Finley. Wealth generated through divine wisdom can be channeled into societal reforms, spiritual progress, benefiting the churches and those in need. Number 3, one of the things that I see is social entrepreneurship, right? So just like Joseph in Egypt, God entrusts resources to believers addressing issues, societal issues around government law, and it's going to support private enterprises, solving problems beyond their capacity. Lewis helped a lot with the American Bible Society. He empowered the organization through his financial giving to put a Bible in every family in the United States. And it served as a beacon of radical generosity that has transformed our generation. Number 4, as Christianity kind of gets into the space, I see wealthy individuals coming to Christ. Even non-believers are going to embrace Christianity because through their friendships, and they're going to see other Christians that are managing their resources well, that are giving, that are being blessed and being good steward of what the Lord has given them, is going to allow the gospel to continue expanding into regions that it hasn't really been advancing in yet. But God's kingdom is going to continue to move forward and progress. This resonates with the 18th century example of John Wesley, who actually gave near all of his resources to the poor, to Christian causes, to ministry. And his radical generosity actually left an incredible mark on his time and ours. So I hope it makes us ask this: what if this wealth transfer has divine purpose? One that empowers the righteous for God's work. As we embark on this remarkable phase of wealth transfer. Let's recognize that it serves a purpose far greater than personal enrichment. It's divine mechanism to accelerate God's work here on earth. In this time, I pray that God raises believers that are bestowed with this divine wisdom to generate wealth and give in innovative ways, addressing challenges that the church is facing in the process, right? Those who haven't yet embraced faith may find it amid their newfound prosperity, using their riches to advance God's kingdom, just like the examples I mentioned a few minutes ago. Now, keep in mind that in this societal shift, a couple of industries are going to undoubtedly flourish. But as Christians, we should seek to position ourselves in the fields where our values align, right, with the endeavor sectors that are focusing on sustainable items, ethical practices, technology-driven innovation, social impact ventures, and areas that are promising where we can influence positive change while generating wealth. By upholding our faith-based principles and embracing these opportunities, we can not only prosper, but also contribute to the betterment of society in alignment with our Christian values. And just to finish, remember that we're on the brink of the most massive wealth shift in history, and it's a moment of deep reflection. This isn't just about gathering riches and upgrading my lifestyle. It's about using wealth wisely to improve society for the kingdom of God, right? To expand the kingdom of God. This pivotal shift comes with a lot of challenges, but a lot of opportunities. And it's urging us to be more and more better stewards of what God has called us, not only of wealth, but of purpose, compassion, radical generosity. In this grand wealth transfer, our goal should be more than securing our financial future, but leaving behind a legacy of purpose, compassion, and turn the world upside down in ways that more than money could ever accomplish, right? Thanks, guys. That's all for this. I'll see you in the next video.